Hello everybody, how's it going? I painted outside, so I don't have 100% of the painting from the beginning to the end, but I tried to take some process shots, and then I brought it inside and finished it. So this guy, this is part of like a larger magic system story. It's pretty simple though. He is kind of like an Ent from the Lord of the Rings, but not. Because he is more like I guess, a tree nymph, but like a male tree nymph. I don't know. I've not heard of a male tree nymph, but think of it like that. He has like a humanoid form. Okay, here's the deal. He has been in like a non magic human world for a very, very, very long time. And he's just kind of been stuck in the ground as a tree stump, watching the forest grow around him, right? And magic is starting to come back into the mortal realm. We don't know why. We don't know what's going on. We just know that magic is coming back. So he's starting to be able to wake up and move a little bit again. And he's very stiff. He's very stiff. He's a little bit grumpy because he's so stiff. And he's like, I feel so old. And if I hadn't been trapped here and I got left behind, he got left behind. So he's kind of a grumpy old tree fae right now. Now, I think of it like the magic world and the mortal realm kind of got split for reasons that we're unaware of at the moment. And anybody that got stuck in the mortal realm was kind of stuck in whatever form they happened to be in. Like there was maybe enough magic in their body to keep them animate and alive, but maybe not necessarily mobile or capable of transforming or whatever it is they normally do. In his case, it meant that he had been a tree stump hiding out in the forest, so he got stuck being a tree stump for many a millennia. Because the mortal realm and like the magic realm should be one and the same. There should not be a separation. There are now cracks and things are starting to happen and magic is bleeding back into the human mortal realm, whatever, right? So he's starting to wake up. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know where his people are. He doesn't know if he remembers his people or if he just imagined people because he has been so alone for so long. Maybe Bill visits him. I think Bill should come for a visit. Bill is a ghosty that is one of my other stories. He's just going on adventures, afterlife adventures to find himself. That's all you need to know about him right now. Moving on. So, this guy's starting to wake up, starting to be able to move, but he cannot become like his humanoid self yet. He's still kind of stuck in tree form, but he's starting to be able to make his limbs turn into limbs rather than just being hunks of wood. I think his name is Timothy. I think we're going to call him Timothy. Anyway, Timothy's human form is very lumberjack shaped, large, fluffy beard, very large man. We're going to go like still within human range, but like close to 7 feet. Like not quite there, but very large man. Ooh, what if instead of being a tree stump, he was actually like a full mature tree as a nymph potentially would be. Not that he's a nymph, but he's kind of nymph-like, right? And maybe somewhere along the way, he got chopped down. So he's been very badly wounded. And now that magic is bleeding back into the world, he's kind of waking up and his body is kind of trying to put itself back together in the magical stump that was left behind. I like that idea very much. Yeah, that would also explain why he's grumpy and a little confused and he's not sure about what happened because he was pretty mortally wounded, except not mortally wounded because he didn't not alive. Yeah. Anyway, so obviously he's alive, but he was wounded pretty badly, and maybe he's just really confused, and his body's trying to fix itself, and he's kind of sort of growing back into a tree, but he's having to climb out of the ground. Like his roots are turning back into his body instead of like the whole tree that would have been his body. So he's growing back slowly. And it's even slower than it normally would have been because the magic hasn't quite flooded back into the world. It's just kind of leaking through these little cracks, right? Ooh, I really like that. So I also have been pondering over the fact that like how did so many, because he's not the only one, there are lots of creatures who got left behind. How in this great divide of the magic world and the mortal world did so many magical beings get left behind without enough magic to sustain their magic selves, right? It's like maybe everybody had a little bit of a different experience. Maybe some people even, lived basically human lives and that was the end of it. But now now their descendants are starting to come into magical powers, and we don't know why or how that's happening. That's never happened before. I'm thinking maybe it had to be pretty abrupt. I think that the world would have had to split pretty abruptly. Like something was going on and it was a split decision. And that's how so many people got left behind. How so many different things happened. That being said, that would have to mean that mortals got trapped in the magic realm as well, wouldn't it? So I wonder what happened in the magic realms. I imagine the humans probably didn't get away unscathed in that scenario either. Maybe similarly to magic creatures being essentially stuck mortal and human and without magic in the mortal realm, maybe they had to or were able to kind of learn to harness magic. Like maybe that's where the whole witch and wizard thing comes from, right? So maybe they were able to develop their own way to use magic. Maybe it's something that like everybody has access to, but the difference is people born with inherent magical abilities and people that learn to harness magical abilities outside themselves. But maybe it became more of like a necessity where instead of like, oh, there are certain people who have an affinity for it and are interested in it, can do it. And it became, well, there's 100 of us and thousands of them. And if we don't learn, we all don't get to be here anymore. That could be really cool. Back to Timothy. So Timothy's starting to wake up. Timothy's starting to notice that he's kind of coming back around to being himself, like his true magical, capable of turning into a human type figure self, right? And again, because he was chopped down at some point, he's missing a lot of memory and he doesn't really know what's going on, but he's definitely starting to feel a surge of magic. So let's see how far Timothy grows. I'd like to see where Timothy goes from here. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. I'd love to see you here again. I really appreciate all of you who keep coming back and listening to me ramble on about my paintings. I have a lot of fun doing it, and I really appreciate those of you who stick around and watch. Like I said, I hope to see you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.